Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. In this session, we shall discuss the topic atmospheric turbulence. Learning objectives of this module is to have general understanding on atmospheric turbulence, to learn about turbulence spectra in the atmospheric boundary layer, to understand turbulent transport of energy and mass in the boundary layer, to become familiar with conservation equations in the boundary layer and closure problem, to understand turbulent kinetic energy and its budget in the boundary layer. Finally, to understand the Ekman layer concept. From the earlier presentations of modules in this paper, I hope you are already familiar with the concept of atmospheric boundary layer and relevant terminologies that I shall be frequently using during this presentation of this module. Now, let us start with the definitions and features of atmospheric turbulence. Turbulent flow in the atmosphere is characterized by irregular or random features in the variables over a wide range of scale of motions and by mixing properties. Reynolds number Re, that is commonly used to characterize the turbulent or laminar nature of the flow of a viscous fluid. If Reynolds number is less than 2000, the flow is expected to be laminar, whereas flow will be turbulent when Reynolds numbers greater than 4000. Reynolds number in the range 2000 to 4000 corresponds to the transition between laminar to turbulent flow. Reynolds number in the atmospheric boundary layer is very large, mostly implying the existence of turbulent conditions. Let us continue with the definition and features of atmospheric turbulence. Atmospheric turbulence will have large spatial and temporal scales of motion in the form of organized eddies. Temporal scale of eddies range from a fraction of a second to several minutes, and the spatial scales are from few millimeters to several hundred meters. The largest dimensions are generally decided by the boundaries of the medium, that is the depth of the atmospheric boundary layer and the driving forces operating therein. These are the figures of turbulence time series of half an hour. The measurements have been taken at 10 Hz speed. These are the two different components of wind, U and W, then air temperature and the carbon dioxide fluxes. Turbulence in the atmospheric boundary layer is mainly generated by solar heating of the surface and wind shear. Turbulent flows transport momentum, energy and mass without a mean velocity component. This is particularly important for the vertical exchange, as the mean vertical velocity is close to 0 in the lower part of the atmosphere. Turbulence also exists above the boundary layer in the convective clouds as well as in the thin layers of large horizontal extent associated with jet streams. These are known as clear air turbulence or CAT. Energy cascade. The largest scales of turbulence in the atmosphere are produced by forces driving the mean fluid flow. The dynamically unstable large eddies break down into progressively smaller eddies via an internal cascade mechanism. In the cascading process, eddies are deformed and folded by other eddies of comparable scales, and this squeezing and stretching transfers energy into smaller ones and so on until the eddies become too small. This cascading breakdown of eddies continue until the eddies are so small that work against viscous forces convert kinetic energy into the heat. The turbulent energy spectrum, three distinct regions. A is the region of energy production, B is the inertial subrange, and C is the dissipation region. In the x-axis of this figure, it is logarithm of k, and in the y-axis, the E of k. So, in the A region, k is almost equivalent to 1 by lambda, and in the dissipation region, k is equal to 1 by eta. The energy producing range. Turbulence is produced by buoyancy or shear, and the fluctuations have a characteristic size referred as integral length scale lambda. For convective boundary layer, lambda would be approximately the depth of the boundary layer, while for shear production, it would be close to the wavelength of the developing Kelvin-Helmholtz waves. The inertial subrange. Energy is neither produced nor dissipated, but it is handed down to smaller and smaller scales in this range throughout the turbulent energy cascade. Turbulence in the inertial subrange is three-dimensional, isotropic, homogeneous and self-similar. The U, V and W spectra is related to through this equation. EVK is equal to EWK is equal to 4 by 3 EU bar K. Turbulent fluxes does not exist in the inertial subrange. Now, Kolmogorov similarity theory. In the inertial subrange, the turbulent energy spectrum Ek depends only on the wave number k and the Tk dissipation rate, that is turbulent kinetic energy dissipation rate epsilon. The unit of wave number is per meter and the unit of Tk dissipation rate epsilon is meter square s to the power minus 3. In this equation Ek is equal to alpha epsilon to the power 2 by 3 and k to the power minus 5 by 3. Here alpha term is the Kolmogorov constant. The spectral slope will follow minus 5 by 3 power law in the inertial subrange. Now the dissipation range. Turbulent kinetic energy is dissipated into heat in this range. The length scale below which this occurs depend only on the turbulent kinetic energy dissipation rate epsilon and the kinematic viscosity. The unit of kinematic viscosity is meter square s to the power minus 1. The scale length is given by Kolmogorov microscale. Eta is equal to v to the power 3 by epsilon whole to the power 1 by 4. Kolmogorov microscale is typically around 1 millimeter. It is the scale at which eddies dissipate into heat. Kolmogorov microscale determines the size of the smallest eddies that can be sustained in presence of viscosity. Now the turbulent eddies are responsible for most of the vertical transport of energy and mass in the boundary layer, though mean vertical velocity is near 0. In this example, the air parcel going up from the lower level will introduce a positive fluctuation in the temperature, whereas an air parcel which is moving down from above will introduce a negative fluctuation in temperature at a certain height above the surface. So during daytime or during unstable condition, W dash theta dash is positive, and during night time or stable condition, W dash theta dash is negative. Together with the positive and negative signs of vertical velocity fluctuation, the product with temperature fluctuation will be positive heat flux both for up and down motions for majority of the eddy motions during daytime. Averaged over 30-minute period, the flux will always be positive, that is directed upward. The night time will have negative heat fluxes as air temperature increases with height in stable boundary layer. Now conservation equations in the atmospheric boundary layer. In the atmospheric boundary layer, turbulent transport is very significant. Thus the conservation equations governing atmospheric motions must be modified to include the turbulent exchange. The steps involved in deriving equations in boundary layer are: identify the governing equations for boundary layer, then apply Bose-Einstein approximation, rho is approximately rho 0 except in bouncy term, then expand the dependent variable into mean and turbulent parts using Reynolds decomposition. Apply Reynolds averaging to get equations for mean variables within the turbulent flow. Here are the conservation equations in the atmospheric boundary layer. 4 equations have been described here. The modified momentum conservation equation, whose form is d bar u bar by dt is equal to minus 1 by rho 0 into d p bar by dx del x plus f into v bar minus du dash u dash over bar by dx plus d v bar u bar over bar by del y plus del w dash u dash over bar by del z. Similarly, instead of u bar by v bar the next equation, and then instead of v bar w bar in the third equation. Modified continuity equation. Its form is del u bar by del x plus del v bar by del y plus del w bar by del z is equal to 0. The third is modified thermodynamic energy equation. D bar q bar by dt is equal to minus del u bar q bar over bar by del x plus del v bar q bar over bar by del y plus del w bar q bar over bar by del z plus s bar q. The fourth equation is the modified conservation equation for water vapor. D bar theta bar by dt is equal to minus del u bar theta bar over bar by del x plus del v bar theta bar over bar by del y plus del w bar theta bar over by del z plus s theta bar. In the above equations, the terms in square brackets represent gradients of turbulent fluxes. In the boundary layer, the magnitude of the turbulent flux divergence terms, and it is not possible to neglect them. Outside the boundary layer, the turbulent fluxes are mostly weak, so that the flux gradient terms can be neglected. Now, let us discuss about the closure problem. The modified conservation equations in the boundary layer have more number of unknowns than the number of equations. Hence, they cannot be solved as it is. The additional unknown terms are the flux gradient terms. If we introduce new equations to solve for these unknowns, as for example, for u dash w dash, then additional unknowns like u dash multiplied by v dash multiplied by w dash, this will be added in the equations. A new equation for the third order term will contain even higher and complex terms. Thus, for any finite set of equations, the description of turbulence is not closed. This is called turbulence closure problem. The turbulence closure problem is solved by retaining only a finite set of unknowns in the equations, and the rest are parameterized or approximated using known quantities and parameters. This is to have a closed set of equations. Closure schemes are commonly named based on the order of statistical moments that are retained in the equations, as well as based on whether approximations are carried out using local gradients or information from the whole model domain. For example, first order local closure scheme will retain first statistical moments such as u, v, w and theta in the equations, and all second moments, that is u dash and w dash theta dash, are approximated using local gradients of u, v, w and theta. Thus, the zonal component of vertical momentum flux is approximated as u dash w dash over bar is equal to minus km del u bar by del z, where km is the eddy transfer coefficient for momentum. This approximation is also known as K theory. Different K values are associated with different fluxes like Km for momentum, Kh for heat, Kq for moisture. For near neutral conditions, it is found that Kh is equal to Kq is equal to 1.35 km. Now, Prandt's mixing length hypothesis. Following kinetic theory of gases, Prandt hypothesized a mechanism for turbulent transfer that eddies or air parcels broke away from the main body of the fluid will carry the mean properties of its original level until it travels a characteristic distance called the mixing length. Prandt's hypothesis is an attempt to specify eddy diffusion coefficient as a function of geometry and flow parameters. Following Prandt's hypothesis, the momentum flux is given as u dash w dash over bar is minus L square del u bar by del z into del u bar by del z, where mixing length is L square is equal to C z dash square over bar. This is directly analogous to K theory if Km is equal to L square du bar by dz. With the our relation, we can write u dash w dash over bar is equal to minus Km du over bar by dz. The mixing length relation tells us that the magnitude of Km should increase as the shear increases. Also, the magnitude of Km should increase if the mixing length increases. Large eddies are mainly responsible for turbulent transfer. Thus, mixing length L is related to the size of large eddy. That is, L can be considered as the large eddy length scale. Now, let us see what are the limitations of mixing length theory. First, the mixing length derivation is valid only for statistically neutral situations. It is assumed that wind, water vapor, temperature etc. have linear gradients. In the real atmosphere, this is true only for small distance. So, mixing length theory is a small eddy theory applicable only in the lower part of the boundary layer, that is in the surface layer during the neutral conditions. Turbulent kinetic energy is the kinetic energy associated with the turbulent fluctuations of the flow, that is TKE is equal to E bar is equal to 1 by 2 u dash square over bar plus v dash square over bar plus w dash square over bar, and expressed in meter square second to the minus 2. TKE is a measure of the intensity of turbulence. Turbulent kinetic energy is an important variable used to study turbulence and its evolution in the boundary layer. TKE is generated by buoyant thermals as well as by mechanically generated eddies. Turbulent kinetic energy budget is used to quantify the sources and sinks and how turbulence or turbulent kinetic energy varies with time. The equation given in this slide is the turbulent kinetic energy budget equation. The form of the equation is del E bar by del T is equal to minus U bar into del E bar by del X plus G by theta V bar of W dash theta V dash over bar minus U dash into W dash over bar into del U bar by del Z minus del by del Z of W dash E over bar minus 1 by rho bar into del by del Z of W dash P dash over bar minus epsilon. There are 7 terms. First term is local storage or tendency term. Term 2 is advection of TKE by mean flow. Term 3 is buoyancy production or consumption term. Term 4 is mechanical or shear production term. Term 5 is turbulent transport by eddies. Term 6 is the pressure correlation term, that is how turbulent kinetic energy is redistributed and drained out of PBL by pressure perturbations, often gravity waves. And term 7 is the viscous dissipation term, that is conversion of turbulent kinetic energy to heat. For the next few slides, I shall explain the various terms of TKE budget equations. Term 1 is a storage or tendency term. The TKE values are usually small during night time over land and during early morning hours. It rapidly increases and reaches the maximum in the early afternoon. That is, there is net storage of TKE and have positive storage term. During late afternoon and evening, decrease of TKE occurs due to dissipation and other losses, and storage or tendency term is usually negative. Then term 2, which is the advection term. Advection contribution may be significant if there are large changes in surface characteristics and horizontal scale of interest is small. Then term 3, this refers to buoyant production or consumption. Production of TKE, this represents the effect of thermals on the generation of TKE, hence will be larger on sunny days and weak during cloudy days. The buoyancy flux is positive and large near the ground, and it decreases approximately linearly with height up to bottom 2/3 of the mixed layer. This is very significant during free convection situation. Now, the consumption of TKE. During statically stable conditions, air parcel displaced vertically up by turbulence will be pushed back by the buoyancy forces. Thus, static stability tend to suppress or consume TKE usually at night over land surface. Term 4 is related to mechanical production. It represents conversion of energy between mean flow and turbulent fluctuations and will be positive always. Mechanical production takes place during all stability conditions in presence of wind. It is the sole source of turbulence during neutral and stable conditions. Mechanical production is usually large and positive near the ground. Term 5 refers to turbulent transport of TKE. This term represents the vertical transport of TKE, that is, vertical turbulent flux of TKE. It does not create or destroy TKE, but transports or redistributes it vertically before it gets dissipated. Term 6 is pressure correlation term. It is associated with wave motions. Contributions from this term is less than 10 of the total rate of TKE dissipation. The pressure correlation term redistributes TKE in the boundary layer as well as drain energy out of the boundary layer. Now, the term 7, which is related to dissipation. The dissipation term accounts for the smallest eddies giving up their energy in the form of viscosity. The largest dissipation rates are near the ground. Stability and turbulent nature of boundary layer. During daytime, surface is heated and the boundary layer becomes unstable. Convective plumes are generated and turbulent mixing happens during this time. During clear night, surface gets cooled and the boundary layer becomes stable. Hence, vertical movement of air parcels gets suppressed and turbulent mixing inhibited. Statically unstable flow is always dynamically unstable, whereas statically stable flow can be dynamically unstable, that is turbulent, or it can be laminar. By comparing the relative magnitudes of the shear production and bound terms in the TKE budget equation and considering the sign of buoyancy term, the stability conditions can be inferred. Also, it can be known when the statically stable flow might become dynamically unstable and vice versa. Now, gradient Richardson number. This is widely used form of Richardson number in boundary layer research. This is defined as the ratio of virtual potential temperature gradient and square of wind gradient. That is, Ri is equal to G by theta V bar into del theta V bar by del Z whole divided by du bar by dz square. Initial laminar flow becomes unstable and onset of turbulence occurs when Richardson number value becomes smaller than the critical Richardson number value Rc. Initial turbulent flow becomes laminar when Richardson number becomes greater than Rt, where Rt refers to termination of turbulence. Richardson number of non-turbulent flow must become less than Rc, that is it must become less than the critical value of Richardson number. When this happens, then turbulence is initiated. But once turbulence flow will continue until Richardson number is above Rt. Studies have shown that the Rc values are in the range 0.21 to 0.25 and Rt is equal to 1. The Ekman layer, the layer extending from the top of the surface layer to the top of the atmospheric boundary layer during neutral condition is known as Ekman layer. The Ekman layer is characterized by turning of wind with height as the effect of friction diminishes and the wind approaches its geostrophic value at the top of the boundary layer. The Ekman layer equations derived from momentum equations are given here. Is k into d2u by dz square plus function v minus vg is equal to 0 and k d2v by dz square minus function u minus ug is equal to 0. The solution is used to express the height dependence of the departure of the wind field in the boundary layer from the geostrophic balance. The solution of Ekman equations are given in this slide. U is equal to ug 1 minus exponential of minus gamma z into cos gamma z. V is equal to ug exponential of minus gamma z into sin gamma z. Gamma is equal to square root of f by 2 km. These equations describe the variation of wind speed and direction in the boundary layer. When plotted the solution on a Hondo graph, we obtain what is called Ekman spiral solution. This figure is that of an Ekman spiral where you can see that wind turns with height. The velocity vectors for different values of gamma z are shown in this Hondo graph. The Hondo graph shows that the velocity vectors trace out a spiral shape with height, which is called the Ekman spiral. The solution represents a three-way balance, that is a balance between the pressure gradient force, Coriolis force and turbulent drag. The velocity is equal to 0 at the lower boundary and velocity tends to be the geostrophic flow at the top of the atmospheric boundary layer. The top of Ekman layer is defined as the point where V is equal to 0, that is where wind is parallel to and nearly equal to the geostrophic wind ug, that is where the spiral crosses the u axis. In mathematical terms, h is equal to pi into square root of 2 km by f. The ideal Ekman layer discussed here is rarely observed in the atmospheric boundary layer. To summarize, turbulent motions characterized by random irregular motions in the flow are responsible for the vertical exchange of energy, momentum and mass in the atmospheric boundary layer. Atmospheric turbulence consists of a wide range of scale of motions with the energy spectra indicating three regions corresponding to energy producing large eddies, eddies of intermediate size in the inertial subrange and very small eddies in the dissipation region. Brand's mixing length theory provides a mechanism to estimate eddy transfer coefficients during near neutral conditions. Conservation equations for the atmospheric boundary layer incorporates turbulent flux gradient terms with significantly large magnitude. Closure relations are used to approximate the flux terms in terms of known variable to make a closed set of equations. Turbulent kinetic energy budget provides an understanding on sources, sinks and transport of turbulence in the ABL. Gradient Richardson number can be used to infer stability of the surface layer and transition between laminar to turbulent motions. The Ekman layer solutions represent turning of wind with height above the surface layer in neutral boundary conditions. Thank you.